I genuinely have looked at Leicester from the last year. Style has changed a little bit. Seems as if we've got a few quality players in as well too. So it's all set up here for promotion.
Good ball in, and Claridge and Roberts. And that's a good-looking cross. Robin goes up, away by White, and back again, they've scored! And would you believe it? The goal comes from Muzzy, is it?
We've got into the playoffs. We've had a fantastic run at the end. Voice has gone completely.
And you play Stoke next week at home in the first leg.
Stoke. Listen, it can go any way as well too. We know that there, but it's delightful to be there.
Heskey trying to get into a shooting position here, and getting the ball across to Parker. Parker has scored! It's a cold, windy day here, but there's a fabulous atmosphere inside the stadium. Martin O'Neill, on his fourth visit here in 5 years, a League Cup winner twice as a player here with Nottingham Forest in the 70s. So we're all set then. Leicester City all in blue, Crystal Palace in the predominantly red kit, and it'll be Leicester who get this 1996 First Division playoff final underway. Scott Taylor accidentally catching Tuttle in the face then as he tried to control that high ball, and the first free kick to Palace. Two contrasting styles of play and very different playing systems today. Leicester will begin the match with only one recognised striker in Steve Claridge. Daniel Heskey would be an option to join in later in the game if necessary. And Claridge will have a lot of work to do, but it's something he thrives on. Poole looks for him with his first clearance. Tuttle with the rather awkward clearance. Claridge heading it back in again, and then away by Roberts. This is Lennon. Watts' clearing header, in fact, went straight to Houghton. He was rather fortunate to get away with that. Parker wins it back for Leicester. Now Claridge. Just a bit short, that intended ball for, is it Kenny Brown with the interception? And Grayson playing it safely back. Then Quinn winning his first header. Brown caught in possession. Claridge. This is it. Taylor in a good position, edge of the box. Heskey arriving from a deeper position. And he finally got there to the rather overhit cross. This is Parker. Claridge. Leads it to Whitlow. Prefers it on his left foot. And a disappointing ball by Walsh.
Yeah, they've got a bit of a problem, Leicester, when they come out, when they work the ball out on the left-hand side. They can't really throw the ball in early because they've got no real height in there, particularly if Claridge has worked out to the flanks. The only real height up front will come from the big left-sided player, Heskey, who's going to be more dangerous when the thing's thrown in from the right-hand side.
Parker with a very good interception for Leicester. Walsh looking for Taylor. Headed clear by Tuttle again. This is Friedman. Good ball to Hopkin. Gets his first touch on the right. Looking for Endar, but again, not accurate enough.
I mean, we talk about Claridge playing up the front on his own, Alan. I don't think you'll find that Dougie Freeman will push right up against Walsh. I think he'll try and drop off him a little bit and get a lot of balls played into feet. Be a little bit pointless him standing against Walsh, who's a giant, but if he can receive it, he's exceptionally good at turning with the ball.
Here's Taylor for Leicester, back to Lennon, looking for Heskey. It was a good ball as well.
Yeah, some good build-up play there. Good build-up play. Lennon, nice little ball inside the fullback. Big, powerful Heskey sets off. Can't quite get full power on the shot. But you notice every time a ball's knocked up to Claridge, the blonde-headed Taylor really bonks on into the front. There he is again. Well, I didn't recognise him, to be fair, when he came out. I think I made him man of the match last year in this same game. But when he came out with the blonde hair, I didn't recognise him. But you'll see plenty of him making forward dashes.
There's Lennon. His bright mop of ginger hair is genuine, unlike Taylor, who dyed his hair as a joke. So he wanted to get noticed. So his manager said, score the winning goal, that'll get you noticed. Ender. Clearance by Watts, bounced to Friedman. Oh, Lennon did really well there. Claridge tries to set Heskey down the centre, and Martin took a bit of a risk then. He was waiting for the ball to come back into the area so he could pick it up. Hopkin. Good ball. This is Edworthy. Strong attacking player down the right, but ran straight into the mountain of Walsh then. Here's Taylor. Saw the break by Parker in the inside right position. Good defending by Brown. He was on loan from West Ham.
No, the first thing I'll say, Alan, is that with Crystal Palace playing 3 central defenders against basically one of Leicester's strikers, you get the impression nobody's really sure who's going to take him. I think they'd be better employed if somebody said, I'll go tight against Claridge, I'll stay out as a spare man, and one of the other central defenders just push in and support. At the moment, the 3 of them don't quite know who's marking who.
Grayson looking for Claridge.
See, there's a situation there where all 3 defenders have got dragged over to the same side of the field. And if they're not careful, somebody like Park or somebody like Taylor will exploit that.
Endar trying to exploit an opening here for Palace, but he overran it. Goal kick. Exciting player though, George Endar. He's only 21, preferred in recent weeks to Bruce Dyer. He's really a winger and prefers to go down that left-hand side as he did a moment ago. He was originally cover for John Solarco. Leicester City, remember, in their 4th playoff final in 5 seasons. Taylor. Look for Muzzy, is it? But not the best ball he's played.
I'm a little bit surprised there. Taylor tried to spot somebody else in. I thought he could have opened himself up and had a shot from that distance.
Man of the match, as you say, despite the fact he was on the losing side last year when Reading gave up a 2-goal lead and lost 4-2 to Bolton. Izzet comes to win it back. Watts' clearance was a bit loose. Houghton. Friedman. Surrounded by blue shirts, but he still gets it to his captain, Houghton. And that was meant to be a shot by Kenny Brown. It almost turned into a good cross. He's actually done well on the goal-scoring front. He scored on his debut when he joined them from West Ham and has added a couple more since. Tuttle's clearance, headed back by Lennon. Tuttle's there again. Houghton. And Edworthy was just caught by Whitlow. I think was genuinely trying to win the ball, but was a bit late. Very honest player, Mike Whitlow. Played for Leeds, in fact, when they won the league championship a few years ago. Houghton takes the free kick. And Leicester deal with it. Now a bit of space on the right-hand side for young Muzzy Izzet. Mustafa Izzet, to give him his full name. He's run into trouble. Houghton. Poole takes control for Leicester. And the early throw to Whitlow.
Yeah, when I saw Palace play against Derby about 3 weeks ago, I was impressed with their one-touch passing in midfield, mainly through Houghton. Most things stem through him. What Leicester have done, they put so many bodies in midfield and making it very, very difficult for the Palace midfield players to have any space in there.
It's a much better ball by Taylor this time to Gary Parker. Grayson in support. Roberts' clearance. And Whitlow made sure Leicester kept possession. Claridge. He still found a way through to Taylor. Taylor tries to commit defenders as well. And Parker couldn't quite take it in his stride. Kenny Brown's clearance was an excellent one up to Hopkin. And Watts made sure he couldn't turn. Brown, Endar. Now Houghton. Lennon has already made one or two really good interceptions in the middle third of the field. That's an offside decision against Hopkin.
I think they've definitely singled Houghton out as the man that makes things happen, who orchestrates things, and they're not going to give him, if they can avoid it, time and space. And it's noticeable every time he's on the ball, somebody tries to snap at him straight away. I'm a bit surprised how far Hopkins playing upfield as well. When he, in the previous game I saw them, he was playing in a deeper midfield play, but making late runs after the build-up play in midfield.
Pitcher caught in possession by the challenge from Izzet. And he gets it back from Taylor and does well.
Sharp, incisive, but could have taken it on, Alan. I mean, he's done very, very well. Could have run that in closer. The effort was good, but I feel he threw away a very, very good chance there. Leicester look as if they're really up for it, and they look as if they're sharp, and they look as if they've made up their mind that they're not going to give Palace any sort of time on the ball at all.
As Lennon proved then with that challenge, but the referee decides it was a foul this time. The free kick was taken too quickly. They'll have to go back again. Smashing little player, Neil Lennon. Martin O'Neill's first signing, in fact, when he joined Leicester for £750,000. And I think he turned down Coventry as well, didn't he, Ron?
Yeah, but that's all to his own misfortune, I should imagine. No, he's a good little player.
So is this fella, Izzet, who was playing reserve team football a couple of months ago for Chelsea and had never even appeared in a first team game. Just a few dozen people at a non-league ground was his audience in those days. Now here he is in front of 70,000 and a few million TV viewers.
I mean, there's a big onus on both the Leicester wide players. I mean, they're both naturally attacking players, but they've got a defensive responsibility today to close down the flanks and make sure that Palace can't come out on the side of down the sides of the team.
Good passing game here by Leicester City. Something that was their hallmark in the early weeks of the season under Mark McGee. Martin O'Neill's given them greater strength and discipline in a defensive sense. And a team that was renowned for letting in goals has been very tight in their run-up to this playoff final, in which they won 6 of their last 8 games. Endar caught there by Grayson, who'll be fortunate to escape a yellow card for that. It was a quite deliberate body check.
Well, that's not even an argument, as you say. Very lucky. Also very lucky. Started mouthing off at the referee, and I think David Allison's been a little bit lenient with him there.
Yes.
A league game definitely would have got booked on that one, no question.
There was no yellow card. Grayson a bit fortunate. He's now got to face the free kick. Hopkin being closely marked by Whitlow. It slid in short to Edworthy. It's typical Claridge. He works and works. Edworthy. That's a dangerous looking ball by Edworthy. And Heskey was in there, so too was Watts with the final clearance. The first real moment of danger to the Leicester goal there. Here's Roberts. Hopkin. Houghton. It's a good looking ball through, and it's in! Andy Roberts scores! Palace are in front.
And Kevin Poole won't believe that at Wembley a ball could bobble over him from that. All culminating in some good play between Houghton and Roberts. Roberts brings the ball out from the back to start with. Plays Houghton in, Houghton finds it back, and look at it, a bobble at Wembley.
It's the first goal he scored for Crystal Palace, and what a moment to open his account, and what a venue. Heskey trying to get things back immediately, and almost did when he found Claridge on the near post.
That was a magic little ball in there from Heskey. Claridge was only an inch short of equalising.
Well, Leicester City went down against Derby a couple of years ago and came back to win 2-1. They were 3-0 down in that magical match against Swindon when they came back to 3-3 and eventually lost 4-3. So they won't panic about this, but obviously it's not the start they wanted.
I mean, I've seen this goalkeeper make some miraculous saves through the season, Paul. I don't think the bubbles helped him at all there.
Andy Roberts, signed from Millwall last summer, beating Kevin Poole with a shot that he would normally have saved.
The impressive thing about that for me was, yeah, the finish was great, and obviously it's a key factor in the game. But the very fact he started the move, he stepped out with the ball, which he can do. He's got good feet, and the very fact that they've only got Claridge up the field means he'll get his opportunities to step out with the ball.
Parker knocking it long, and there's Roberts doing his defensive duties equally impressively. What a start then for Dave Bassett's team. 15 minutes gone at Wembley. They lead against Martin O'Neill's Leicester, 1-0. Lennon. Well, it's a game that will constantly defy you football, because, as Ron had been saying, and I would have agreed with him, Leicester had looked the more impressive in the opening stages here, settled into the game quicker and better, but now they're a goal behind. And Hopkin with a dangerous cross, and now that goal has spread a bit of panic amongst the Leicester defenders. No real communication then between Poole and Walsh.
Still a good ball in, albeit not enough support players in from Crystal Palace, but still a good ball in from Hopkin. Always a dangerous ball, that one, flying across to the first post.
And Quinn has come forward and made life difficult for Poole. Brown misjudged it. He's got away with it. And again, Kenny Brown. Good run by Hopkin. Watts following him. Leicester make a bit of progress down that touchline. Another throw-in. Parker. It's a good ball from Walsh to Grayson. On it goes for Claridge. And a little nudge in the back earns Leicester a free kick. Whitlow. Claridge making a run in the final third, but Tuttle defended well. Endar. Walsh read the bounce. His distribution's been a bit sloppy early on, Steve Walsh. Lovely bit of skill by Friedman. He completely lost the defender, Grayson, who tugged at his shirt to try and stop him.
That's what he does very well, Dougie Freeman. Comes off the front line, he accepts the ball exceptionally well. Good turner with it.
And he's earned his team a free kick in a good position here.
Well, somebody's got to get Walsh out the way here. They want to try and run big Walsh out the way.
Tuttle tries to pull him out of the danger area. Pitcher couldn't reach the header. It comes out to Hopkin. Poole had to scramble for that because it had come off his own man. It would have been a corner. Got away from all of them. Brilliant run by Endar, and that was so tempting for Friedman. It looked as though he only had to get a foot in the way, and that would have been a second goal.
Well, it was brilliant play from Endar, and I'm sure the Dougie Freedman could have slid in at that one. that looks an absolute stick-on for him if he'd have slid at it. There was a defender in his way, which may have meant that he got a late view of the ball on him, but that looks an excellent chance for me. Some great work by Endar here out on the right wing.
Well, how important a miss could that turn out to be? Whitlow coming forward for Leicester, who are a goal behind. Heskey. He's lost Roberts, he's big and strong. Can't shake him off the ball easily. Taylor. Now Lennon, is camped out on the right touchline. And it goes instead towards Taylor. It wasn't the best ball. Edworthy with an easy clearance. However, it's won back, and this is Taylor trying to set it up for Parker. Good challenge by Roberts. Is it? It's a disappointing cross. But Leicester are relieved that they're not chasing 2 goals.
I mean, this is a good surge, good strong surge. Plays it early off the outside of his left foot head, and it just feeds it with his right foot. Sorry. No, perhaps I'm doing Freedman a bit of an injustice there. He probably saw it late. But certainly my first impression was that, go on, throw yourself in at the sun and you've got another one.
Anxiety on the Leicester bench, but they'll know that there's a long time to go yet. Plenty of opportunity to get back into this game, and frankly, they've probably had the better of the opening 20 minutes, but they're a goal down. Whitlow. Everyone marked, so he had to go square to Lennon. Taylor's found some room in the middle. He loves running at defenders, that's his strength. Fantasy shooting isn't necessarily as impressive, but he can certainly forge openings with his ability to take people on like that. 6 goals he's got this season. The knee injury and hasn't trained for most of the week, Scott Taylor.
I think he's been dogged with injury a little bit this season, hasn't he? I mean, I was very impressed when I saw him play here last year for Reading, but on a number of occasions when we watched Leicester play this year, unfortunately he hasn't been playing.
Looking for Claridge, but the linesman has spotted him in an offside position.
The one thing, of course, with Leicester just playing Claridge up the middle, it means that young Quinn's had a chance to bed down. He hasn't really been put under an awful lot of pressure. You just wonder if the likes of, say, Big Ewan Roberts had been playing against him. I'm sure he'd have tested him already if he'd have been fit to play.
Endar, unchallenged header. Cleared by Walsh, comes back in from Houghton. Whitlow couldn't turn back towards his goalkeeper and got caught in 2 minds. Freedman. It's good skill again by Freedman. And Lennon, equally impressive. That's wonderful play by Lennon. Taylor now. Izzard continues his run down the right flank, and he slides him in invitingly. Claridge and Parker in the penalty box, but the cross always favourite for Nigel Martin.
Just looking at that move developing, as soon as Izzard was flashing the ball across, I thought, come on, Heskey, where, I was expecting the big lad to be flying in. He stood on the halfway line. I would have thought that Martin O'Neill would be saying, hey, son, when we're attacking up the right-hand side, your job is to get on that back post.
The sweeper Roberts, the man who got the goal. Looking for Endar down the left. Hopkin is there as well, and fouled Watts. Free kick to Leicester. It's only the second time, incidentally, the Palace have been in the playoff final. They beat Blackburn 7 years ago when it was still played over 2 legs. They lost 3-1, in fact, in the away leg, and came back to win 3-0 at home, proving, as the playoff finals have over the years, that it's a competition where teams have come back from seemingly impossible situations. to Houghton. Probably a little layoff to Quinn. And this is good football by Crystal Palace. Excellent stuff. Brown moving down the left, but Parker gets there first. Ray Lewington and Peter Nicholas on the coaching staff at Crystal Palace take great credit for the change in the style of football they brought about at the beginning of this season. They introduced a passing game, and it was not necessarily successful in terms of results, but it started to have its product, and Dave Bassett was sensible enough to keep with that style of play, and that's why Palace had that storming run from the moment he arrived. Parker. Watts. Heskey has moved into a central position and has earned a free kick, fouled by Tuttle. Ray Lewington on the right there, and Peter Nicholas on the left with Ryan Sparrow, another of the coaching staff at Palace. Parker. Walsh has got forward. Edworthy with the clearance. Now Watts. Just showed the ball to Friedman then, but he's a calm character, Julian Watts. Very cool player. Here's Grayson. And now Parker. Taylor's made a good run down the centre, and Parker finds him brilliantly. Well, I think Palace were expecting an offside flag. It never came, and that's a missed chance.
Certainly Edworthy was looking for offside, because he could have just walked in and marked Taylor very comfortably there. I think probably Edworthy had a case, but I mean, he'd left it very tight. I think Dave Bassett would have been a lot happier if he'd have gone and tidied the danger up himself. Not relied on a linesman there.
It was a good tackle by Whitlow when danger threatened, and he's encouraged to go on as Palace back off.
Now, whether it's something that's just happened in the course of play, Alan, but Heskey's gone right into a central striking position now, and Taylor looks to be occupying the left side of the left wing.
Young Quinn wouldn't allow him to turn, but here's Izzet now. And that final ball from Muzzy Izzet has been disappointing so far. Martin O'Neill, international of course in his playing days, 64 caps for Northern Ireland, and led them to the quarter-finals of the World Cup in 1982. Started out on the management ladder with Wycombe Wanderers and was a great success. Started the season at Norwich, where he fell out with the chairman, and moved in dramatic circumstances to Leicester. 18 minutes of the first half to go here.
Again, he'll be thinking, much you were talking about Martin, he'll be thinking, look, let's make sure that nothing else happens in terms of Palace getting another goal. If there's only one goal to diff, there's not a problem. We can always pull that back. What they mustn't do, of course, is let it go to two ahead.
Parker, supremely confident on the ball.
Yes, he'll want the ball all day. He'll be patient enough, even if there's not a ball on an adventurous ball, he'll just keep possession for the team. Somebody was on about, I think it was George Graham was talking about Ray Houghton being a continuity player. Gary Parker's exactly the same as well. Not too much continuity about that, Ray.
Walsh. Bit long for Heskey, who won the header well. Sets it up for Izzet. That was a better effort. Brown did well to block it. Now Endar. And once he gets going, he's difficult to stop. Brilliant run. That was impressive. It's a good game now.
Yeah, he looks a threat, doesn't he, Endar, when he's allowed to pick up the ball and travel with it. Showed good strength there as well, resisting the turn from Whitlow, Grayson.
Here's Whitlow. And Edworthy should clean that one up, no problem. Nope, Whitlow wouldn't give him an easy route out, but it is a Palace throw to Whitlow's frustration. Taylor. Claridge. And now Parker. Lennon takes over. And Palace have 11 men back behind the ball. So they've got to stay patient here, Leicester. And a good challenge, has won it back as Houghton goes forward, Walsh with the interception. Delivers it long for Taylor, who's onside. He's got Claridge and Heskey in good positions in the centre. Good defending by Tuttle.
Oh, great defending, because that was a hell of a situation for Leicester. Caught them napping there, looking for offside. No question he wasn't offside.
It's their first corner with half an hour gone, and there'll be a threat from this. Watch out for Steve Walsh in particular. Watts has joined him. Heskey another possible danger, and Whitlow. But it's Walsh they look for. Claridge turning it on. Endar got it away. Izzet was determined it was going to be his. They've still got 6 forward here on the edge of the Palace box. Parker in possession. Walsh is one of those still forward. He lays it off to Grayson, and now Heskey. Edworthy the defender. And the defender did a good job, and they could hit them on the break here, but it was a poor ball by Endar. Everybody seems to be crammed into this final third of the field at the moment.
I think if Palace could just show a little bit more composure when they break the attacks down, they could catch Leicester on a break, but they're giving the ball back again too easily. They're fighting hard to break down the initial attack from Leicester, and then they're throwing it back unnecessary back to the Leicester defenders.
A little splash of welcome sunshine across Wembley as Izzet forces the ball over the line, but that's a Palace throw. If Harry Bassett is successful today, it'll be the 7th time he's led a team to promotion, and that would even overtake Jim Smith, whose record is one of the best in the game. Jim Smith, who's already safely in the Premiership next season, of course. Derby runners-up. Crystal Palace finished 3rd, 4 points behind them, and 4 points ahead of Leicester, who were in 5th place. Sunderland the champions. So just one place lies in wait in the Premiership. Who will take it? Crystal Palace or Leicester? At the moment, Palace are in front.
I think the very fact that Heskey's gone into the central striking position has given them a lot more force, and it's also given them targets to hit from the middle of the field. I felt the lineup, they started with more of a containing lineup with Heskey out on the left. Now, of course, a goal down, they've got to force the game, they've got to chase the game a little bit.
Claridge swinging one in dangerously, and that was good goalkeeping by Nigel Martyn. He didn't dare take his eyes off that one because Izzet was flying in behind him. Always been one of the best keepers around, Nigel Martyn. He's certainly one of the best outside the Premiership. Heskey goes in hard to win it back. It comes to Parker, and unusually for him, he's lost possession. Brand for Crystal Palace.
They need to put some passes in here. This is the first time they've got a little bit of free breathing space for some time. Palace.
Hopkin for them. Dear, that was excellent work by Watts. Now Whitlow. There's one for Heskey to chase, and the goalkeeper's come an awful long way out, but he knew what he was doing. Houghton. Pitcher, he just sits in that central midfield defensive role. You don't notice him that often, but he gets through a very good job and a very important one. Friedman's given it away.
So that's the unnecessary thing. They've been doing a little bit of that, Palace, in the last 10 minutes or so, giving it away under no real pressure. And Friedman checked off the front line there, did it brilliantly, accepted it, and then gave it away.
Quinn's foul on Claridge. Leicester have a free kick. Parker. Claridge. it goes for Heskey. Roberts is the defender with him. He knows what he's doing, Roberts, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's a handy player to have between two markers, because he knows the game. He can play in midfield, he can step out, as he proved with the goal.
Parker. That could be useful if Grayson can get the cross in here, but he wasn't given the time he wanted. However, Izzet slides in to win it back. Parker chipping one up, and Martin punches it clear to Whitlow. It was his weaker foot that it came to, because he can really hit the ball with his left, Mike Whitlow. Ten minutes to half-time. Palace lead 1-0. The prize, remember, a place in the Premiership next season, and the millions of pounds and the glamour and the possible glory that go with it. Houghton. Pitcher. Now Kenny Brown. His father was a member of the great West Ham team of the 60s with the Moore and Hurst and Peters era. Leicester have enjoyed most of the possession in this half, but Palace enjoy the one-goal lead. Steve Walsh in possession. Excellent work again from Roberts. Very good tackle at the other end by Walsh. But Roberts first to it again. He's having a mountainous match. Parker takes over. Good ball. Izzet? And again, Leicester show how good they are at keeping possession, but no real opening has been created. Got to keep probing away and stay patient. Heskey. Young Quinn did well to get it clear. Heskey caught him as he cleared the ball. Free kick.
Yes, certainly they're dictating the game in terms of possession at the moment, Leicester. You just wonder if they had a natural wing player, a natural wide player that could beat a man in the wide position and get to the dead ball line and maybe get one or two crosses pulled in. They're playing a little bit, or playing a fair amount, in front of Crystal Palace.
As I know, it's something that Martin O'Neill desperately would like to introduce to the team. Width, it's something he's always played with in his managerial career, two wingers many times, and there isn't really anyone on the playing staff at Leicester that suits that particular role. So Heskey, who's really a central striker, is forced into it. Strange cross there by Hopkin. Let's have another look at the goal that separates the sides.
I mean, his first touch is good there, Roberts. He's taken that with the accomplished as a striker. I felt for the goalkeeper, to be fair. As I say, we didn't see the thing in the playback there, but for me the most impressive thing about the goal was the way Roberts strode out at the start. He actually started the move, and joined in the play.
Leicester on the roll again with Whitlow. Taylor flicks it on. That's a dangerous ball, and as Izzet came flying in on the back post, it was good defending by Kenny Brown. It's a corner. Sneaked in well there, Izzet.
Certainly looks a brave lad, Izzet, because every time the ball has been played into one of those zones, he's never been afraid to go looking for it. And as you say, great defending from Brown. But now we're seeing Big Walsh from perhaps his best side.
And Walsh comes thundering in. Topple had to get it clear because he knew that he was right behind him. He could hear the hooves in the distance.
Yeah, the number of times you go to Filbert Street and watch games or play there or whatever, over the years you've seen that big fella thundering in. Yeah, I mean, he had a very good spell at centre forward once.
Absolutely,
he
yeah.
scored quite a lot of goals. I think you'll find this one will have a little bit more slowness on it from Gary Parker. He'll hang this one up higher.
Walsh is still the target, but it didn't matter because Nigel Martyn said thank you. That's the kind of catch I will make all day.
Yeah, not the sort of delivery that Martin O'Neill would expect Gary Parker to make.
Houghton. Friedman lost his man beautifully again there, and this looks dangerous. Houghton goes forward looking for Endar. Whitlow's interception. That's a goal kick. So we've reached the final 5 minutes of the first half here at Wembley. Crystal Palace beating Leicester City 1-0. Tuttle's header. Houghton turns it away. Walsh with the clearance. Palace now will be anxious to get through to half-time with their lead intact. Quinn under pressure from Lennon. Brown comes to help him out. Typically determined play by little Neil Lennon, the Northern Irishman, who's a very competitive little player, passes the ball well, and his tremendous attitude and appetite for the game. Gary Parker's got a bit of room. And again, 21 of the 22 players compressed into the one half of the field. Esky tried to make a contact there, and Nigel Martyn used his considerable physique, but the referee's given a corner when everyone was expecting a goal kick. And Martin O'Neill trying to make his voice heard above 70,000 others. Is it just setting it up again? Parker back to Lennon, and it goes dangerously. Still danger here. Well, that was a great chance, and Claridge and Martin O'Neill share their disappointment that it didn't go in. Everyone hesitated.
Yeah, I think there was a suggestion that they were looking for offside. To be fair to Claridge, he really didn't know where he was. The ball's coming over his shoulder. He can't focus on where the goal is or where the keeper is. He's just got to try and get a helping hand or a helping foot on it, if you like.
3 minutes to half-time, it would have been some important goal if it had gone in.
I think Palace do have a little bit of a problem, and that might be due to the fact they've had to change their defence quite a bit over the last 2 or 3 matches. They don't clear the box too well, and once or twice there's a bit of hesitation about whether somebody should be offside or whether they shouldn't. Particularly when Big Walsh comes up the field, I don't think they can afford to leave people back in the box and play him onside when the chance is there to lob it on top of him.
Yes, they've certainly had some disruption to those central defensive positions in the final weeks of the season. Palace, all the more impressive really that they were able to go off on that great run. 14 of 22 matches under Dave Bassett they won. 2 minutes to half-time. Crystal Palace 1, Leicester City 0. Is it battling away still with Brown? It's Palace's throw. Steve Coppell, technical director at Crystal Palace, to give him his official title. Former Manchester United and England player who, of course, managed Palace himself in their great years in the early 90s when they reached the FA Cup final and finished third in the Premier League as it was then. Endar for Palace, trying to get back into the top flight again, leaving it to Hopkin. Edworthy, Hopkin, And the first time ball on for Friedman. He'll do well to keep that in. He didn't. Haven't seen too much of him yet today, Dougie Friedman. He's top scorer for Palace this season with 20 goals, just 22. Scot from Glasgow. In fact, he's on standby for Scotland's Euro 96 squad if Ali McCoist doesn't make it because of injury. Whitlow. Claridge looking for a free kick, and indeed that's exactly what he gets. Foul by David Tuttle.
Tell you what, I've watched Claridge a lot over the last few years, and one thing you say in his favour, even if it's a bad ball, you know, he'll attempt to make it into a good one, and he is a handful for defenders, as Tuttle's finding out today.
Now this is going to be, I would think, the last opportunity of the half, as Parker swings it in. Neither Watts nor Walsh could get to it. It's gone out of play for a goal kick. Watts is furious, thinking that he was stopped from getting to the ball there by a defender.
I don't think there's any chance when Watts and Big Walsh come up that they're going to be allowed a free run at the ball. And everybody would be aware of how good they both are in the end. Palace will do their utmost to stop them getting into the stride.
It was indeed the final opportunity of the half. It went begging, and that means that Andy Roberts' goal still separates the sides as we reach the halfway mark here at Wembley. Martin O'Neill, the Leicester City manager, is with Phil Mepham.
Martin, your puzzle would seem to be turning possession into goals.
Absolutely. We've had 90% of the game, they've had one attack and they've scored a goal. But however, we just have to be a bit more incisive in the final third.
How long can you be patient?
Well, a bit patient. We've had the ball all the time. It's just a matter of getting turning it into a goal.
Martin, thank you.
This match, fascinatingly poised, is about to go into the second 45 minutes. Incidentally, should it be necessary today, we would have extra time and indeed penalties if needed. The match and the final place in the Premiership has to be settled this afternoon. Leicester now attacking from left to right, all in blue to remind you. And Whitlow straight on the attack for them. Heskey to his left, Claridge in the centre. Houghton gets it away, and the pattern already set, as it was for the final 15 minutes of the first half, with Palace funneled back into their own half. Walsh with the long ball. Taylor is chasing it. Claridge gets up well. Cleared by Edworthy. Pitcher. The layoff by Friedman to Houghton. Endar's made a good run, and he slides it brilliantly through to Friedman, who was caught there, and he's furious, and he's probably got a case, to be honest, because Walsh deliberately caught him.
That was much better build-up from Palace, though, wasn't it? Incisive play by Edworthy to start with, Houghton, and then a nice latching on then from Friedman. And as you say, very unfortunate to have the move stop when it was in full flow. But that's the sort of thing I would expect from Palace. I'd expect them to keep possession better when they attack.
No caution, incidentally, for Walsh as the free kick is slid in quickly. That looks a well-practiced routine, and it almost produced a goal. In fact, it wouldn't have counted anyway because the linesman's flag, spotted instantly by Ron Atkinson, I have to say, is raised. It would have been offside. But what a good move.
Yes, quick, bright thingy, a nice little ball played at the back of the wall, and you know, that was marginal. Linesman certainly had his flag up as soon as the move was taken, but it was marginal.
Leicester temporarily down to 10 men. They have a player having treatment off the pitch following that scramble. I think it's Mike Whitlow. He's as tough as they come. He'll be back. Heskey has Parker to his left. It's a good run by Heskey. We've got two exciting players in Emil Heskey and George Endar on the Palace side who revel in running at people. It's still one of the most exciting sights in the game. Whitlow's back. Leicester have a throw in, and Parker will launch it in towards Walsh, edge of the 6-yard box. Tuttle got there first, however. Hopkin hooks it clear. The weather has deteriorated again. It's supposed to be May. It's a bit like November at the moment. Cold and windy. Lennon. Taken off him by Brown. Endar going down the left. Oh, that was a good tackle. Well played, Simon Grayson. Endar again. Oh, tremendous effort, and what a brilliant save by Kevin Poole.
That for me is the best bit of football there's been, Alan. Good little link-up play, and here you see somebody very positive outside of his left foot. Hardly gets a look at goal. He's hooking that all the way to goal, and that's a great save.
That has kept Leicester's hopes alive. That was going in, no question. Tries to get the little touch on from the corner. It's come out to Brown, and back in it goes towards Tuttle, and the header creates danger, and Poole has made another brilliant save, this time from Friedman. Well, in the semi-finals against Stoke, he did a similar thing early on there. He made 2 saves in the space of a couple of minutes, and he's done it again in the final.
Well, that's good link-up play there. Good play from Palace. They've been particularly effective on their set plays, and that was a result of one of them, and good volley from Freeman. To be fair, it's actually gone right down the keeper's throat. Well, but I mean, in the space of a minute there, Palace could have put the game out of sight, really.
And if there was any hint of criticism of Poole on the goal, it's certainly been removed by his heroics then.
Well, as I say, the number of times I see this fellow play, and he does seem to make a number of great reaction saves virtually every game I've ever seen him playing.
So Leicester live on. Taylor. Claridge. Palace looking a bit more effective on the break than they did in the first half. Hopkin. Excellent running by Edworthy. Watts bars the way to goal, and Grayson. That's good play. Brown cleared by Watts. Just kept in play by Izzet. The wind's really getting up now and blowing all the sort of paper all over the Wembley pitch, which a team of stewards tried to remove at half-time. Henry Bassett with Peter Nicholas there, former Arsenal and Welsh international, one of his coaches, just deciding if they need to make a change as Claridge goes forward. Well, it was inviting enough, but nobody wanted to go onto it.
I thought it was superb play. I think Heskey there showed his lack of experience, because Claridge turns in field, beautiful little through ball between people, and Heskey is really on his heels.
Scott Taylor. Great running again by Taylor. And almost slid it through to Claridge. Leicester really turning the pressure on now, having survived 2 real threats on their goal moments ago. Martin O'Neill will be living every tackle. Endar for Palace, they lead 1-0. Pitcher, Houghton, great ball. Brown. And Endar's done well here, but Watts kept to his job. There's no doubt that Palace are looking better now early on here.
Yeah, they're certainly keeping the ball in the top half of the field better. They're putting the passes together a lot better. I felt first half, I felt they got anxious and hurried their passing and gave the ball away cheaply. Now they realise they've got a fair bit of time once they break down Leicester's attacks.
Here's Endar again. What's his clearance? Straight back in from young Quinn, but it's gone to Taylor of Leicester. Heskey turns away from his man. He was caught as he tried to follow the ball. Free kick.
I just wonder whether this is temporary. I'm looking over. Taylor switched to the right-hand side now, and Isset's gone out on the left. I wonder whether it's just something that's just developed, or whether it's just a temporary move. Because when I've seen Taylor play, I've actually seen him play on this right-hand side and be very, very effective. And if there's one thing lacking apart from goals in Leicester's play, it's been the quality of crossing open play. They've never really got the ball into areas where they can put good crosses in from.
Poor kick by Nigel Martin, unusual for him. It's gone straight out of play.
He doesn't give himself much room for error, does he, though? He's trying to load everything on top of Nadar, stood right on this left-hand side.
Quinn, who's had a quietly effective game, the 19-year-old, with the clearance that gives Leicester a throw-in, and Parker the opportunity to wind the arms up again and launch it in towards Walsh, who's trundling forward. That's where it goes, and he tucks it on dangerously. Claridge tries to get in there. Is it? Strange ball that. And in the end, the defender, who was Hopkin on that occasion, did well.
You certainly get the feeling that Leicester's best chance of a goal is something when Walsh is about. A long throw, corner, free kick, something where he can get his head on it and cause mayhem in the Palace defence.
Heskey trying to do just that. Picture brings it out for Palace. It could be a long half for Crystal Palace if Leicester can carry on like this. Parker. Now he can hit the ball. Tuchel inadvertently, I think, headed it away. I don't think he knew much about that. Lennon. Watts got his foot right through the clearance. Taylor with a lovely little touch onto Claridge. He's got Heskey ahead of him and slipped at the vital moment. Walsh, ooh, that was a bit short. And fortunately for Leicester,
That's what they were doing first half, Palace. He was anxious there, Hopkin. He got all the time in the world to just keep the ball. Now what he's done, he's put Leicester in a position to sort of spring again.
Walsh gets a bit more meat on it this time. Heskey. It's just that last little ball with Heskey. But when you consider he's only 18, you can't expect the completed article, can you?
Yeah, he's also running, he's got to lose a marker, then he's running onto a spare defender, of course, with Roberts sitting behind the two, Tuttle and Quinn.
Here it is again, Heskey leaves it this time to Izzet. Watts. 10 minutes gone in the second half of the playoff final. Palace lead 1-0, but they're under constant pressure. Parker to Heskey. Again, it was a slightly loose layoff, but Heskey did well to come and win it back. Now Watts. It's a critical little spell, this. If Leicester can get back level, anything could happen. But if Palace can hit them on the break, a second goal might be beyond their powers of recovery. Lennon. Parker, they are playing well, Leicester. Grayson. Swung in, but neither Heskey nor Claridge able to get a touch. They think it came off a Palace player, the Leicester men, and that's why they're appealing for a corner.
Yeah, I think Grayson's claiming that this just skimmed somebody's head there.
I think it hit Kenny Brown, didn't it, on its way out? Should have been a corner, that. And the wind's getting stronger and stronger here. And mainly behind Leicester. So that'll make matters worse for Crystal Palace, who are being penned in anyway. But here now they break with Friedman. Hopkin. It's Leicester's throw. Terrific atmosphere. Leicester sold over 38,000 tickets. Palace sold over 33,000. And this is the fans' final, if you like, along with the Coca-Cola Cup, where the genuine supporters get the tickets. And it always makes for a much better atmosphere. Endar on a run here. Lennon got back so hard. And that's very calm play again by Watts, who's a real classy performer. Parker. That's a great ball. Claridge. Heskey and Grayson in support. Grayson. And the little bounce took it away from danger. And Leicester see a good chance go begging.
Gary's entitled to be annoyed there. That fizzled out for nothing, and Gary Parker's through ball really should have put them in with at least a strike on goal.
Brown getting forward for Crystal Palace. Edworthy. Oh dear, that wasn't the easiest ball to control from Friedman, but he did. Pitcher. Headed clear by Walsh, and then Whitlow getting it away from danger to Taylor. Watts, I'm not sure he wanted that ball then from Taylor. Taylor again. And the space opens up, and he gallops into it. Couldn't quite slide it through to the onrushing Mazzy is it. But Leicester are turning up the heat here.
And you just wonder how expensive those two situations straight after half-time might have been, when Paul managed to get his hands on two very, very good efforts from Leicester, from Palace. Because as you say now at the moment, you get the feeling that the Leicester crowd sense that if there's going to be a time for them, this is going to be it.
It's a foul by Mazzy is it, who's obviously now permanently switched over to that left-hand side, with Taylor on the right, enabling Heskey to go central.
I think the reason is for the reason we've just seen Taylor making that sort of run. He's a lot happier running off the right-hand side, Taylor.
An hour of the game gone. Crystal Palace lead Leicester City 1-0. But Leicester have had the lion's share of this game. Roberts, the goal scorer. Houghton, the captain. Friedman on to Pitcher. Taylor with a brilliant interception. And sets it up for Heskey. Oh, that's disappointing by Emil Heskey.
Oh, it was anything towards the far post, either a shot or a little chip. They got men over. I thought Nigel Martin might possibly even have overcovered the near post there. But he's only a kid, he's playing in the biggest game of his life, and he hasn't managed to wrap his foot around that one.
Testing time this for Palace. Hopkin. And he's on the throw. Walsh's clearance. And Watts made sure there was no danger. To Taylor. And those two combine again. And Simon Grayson. Norwich couldn't quite get there, but it's come back to him. Parker. Is it on the left? And Whitlow making a storming run forward. Parker. Not quite the ball he intended, but he can try again. Whitlow. Claridge. It's done well, Claridge. Sets it up for Lennon. Great run. Claridge is onside. Tuttle got it away from almost on top of his own goalkeeper.
I don't know whether it's my imagination, Alan, but I get the distinct feeling that one or two of those Palace defenders are starting to feel very leg-weary. Whether it's the tension getting through to one or two of them, the younger ones particularly, or whether it's the amount of effort the season's taken out of it, but they certainly don't look as sharp or as incisive as they were.
The Leicester fans are all at this end of the stadium that their team are attacking. And look at that. I've rarely seen such disparaging figures as that in terms of possession. 65% to 35 in Leicester's favour, but the only statistic that matters is that at the top of the screen. Palace 1, Leicester 0.
I suppose the other statistic is the fact that the Leicester goalkeeper has made the 2 best stops of the game. Certainly the one from Nadal.
It's Hout. And again. Watts did well. What a steady, calm game he's had, Julian Watts. Lennon. Parker. He knew that Pitcher was closing him down, but Lennon always offers support. Grayson. Now Watts. Temple getting it away from Claridge.
I'm just looking there and I'm wondering if this goes on much longer, whether Martin O'Neill might just be tempted to throw this big fella up as a loose cannon, if you like, up the middle amongst what he's already got. Big Walsh.
However, at the moment he's got to do some defending as Freeman runs on and looks for Hopkin down the right. And he defended very well, but mind you, that tackle, I felt that from here. Fortunately, I didn't feel it quite as much as Hopkin did. My word.
I'm glad you're in front of me there. He's definitely said go on this one, hasn't he, the big fella? He realises he's made a mistake with the bad ball he gave away, and he's rectified it. What the hell he's done to Hopkin, I don't know, but he certainly rectified his mistake.
Well, he's had his fair share of injuries himself, Walshy, and there's never any question that he will go in with absolutely every gun blazing. Hopkin doesn't appreciate that much at the moment, and you can't blame him. Referee only gave a throw in, and rightly. Who said the art of tackling was a dying skill? Now, Claridge for Leicester. Just waiting for the cavalry to arrive. And here's Grayson. Taylor. Control just let him down. Heskey. Grayson again. To Lennon. Surely this Leicester pressure must pay off. Lennon. They just can't get out of their own half. They can't get out of their own penalty area almost, Palace at the moment.
He needs quality from here. Walsh is in there.
Is it? Turned away by Pitcher for a corner. Is this the moment when Leicester get the breakthrough?
Of course, they've been playing with 10 men for the last few minutes. Elias Hopkin trying to get to the edge of the box.
Heskey couldn't quite reach the corner. Taylor. Good ball for Parker. It's a good-looking cross, headed clear by Roberts. A little bit of relief for Palace. They've got to throw in. David Hopkins still in trouble. He was doubtful for the game, as I mentioned earlier, but that was a stomach strain rather than whatever bruising he collected off Mr. Walsh before.
So he's given away again. I know I keep harking on this point, but that's not one of Palace's strong points normally. It certainly hasn't been today. Normally they're very, very good at keeping possession. I'm surprised how much on the surface like this they've given it away.
Grayson. And as he headed that one away, Tuttle just seemed to pull up as though he twinged his hamstring then. Claridge. Taylor. Heskey gets in. Oh, brilliant save by Nigel Martin.
From their first really good cross of the day in open play. Super cross in. Good first time early ball. That's the ones the strikers like. There's big Heskey. Go on, get your back on that. Nigel Martin just comfortably turns it over, but that's better. That'll give them the impetus now. Crystal Palace have now got to really, really hang on.
Parker hits it in long. Walsh coming in. Heskey's in there with him. Actually got in each other's way. Hopkins done well here, and he's got support from Houghton, and Lennon has done brilliantly there for Leicester, because it looked really odds on a second goal. Houghton is screaming at Friedman.
He's furious. He knows that if Friedman was aware and lays a ball across him, he's going in one-on-one on the keeper, and Hopkins going to be lucky here.
Foul by Hopkins on Taylor, and he might be the first player caution in the game.
Any sort of awareness there from Friedman, and Ray Houghton's he's looking down the barrel at the keeper. Yeah, he's got no cause for complaint on that at all, has he?
Hopkins becomes the first player in the game cautioned.
And of course it gives them a chance to load the thing in again for the big guys. They're all up there now, the brigade's up there.
And astonishingly, it was placed straight onto a Palace head, but it comes back again. Taylor's cross, that looks good. Walsh is still there. Well, I wonder if, as Ron Atkinson suggested, this is maybe getting close to the moment when Steve Walsh should stay up there.
I think I would if I was them now. They don't really need too many defenders, because Palace haven't got too many players up front anyway, and Lennon's shown there from the last one. There's the big header. I thought he'd have gone closer with that one, but Lennon's shown that he can always drop back in from midfield and reinforce the defence if they're short. And I think it would terrify the Palace lads then if they saw Big Walsh up the middle against them for whatever the remaining minutes are.
Claridge is looking a bit tired as well. He's had this problem, a thyroid problem. He's been taking tablets for it. He doesn't look quite his usual bubbly self today, and I wonder if he's going to be able to last the pace as well. Meantime, there is going to be a substitution. It's Palace who are going to make a change. And Hopkins, obviously still feeling the effects of the crack he got from Walsh, will be replaced by Carl Veart, the Australian international who's played a few games recently in Hopkins' place anyway. Carl Veart on, 20 minutes to go. His team are leading 1-0, but he might have to do a bit of defending, like most of his teammates have for most of this game. Here's Taylor. And none of the little breaks at the moment are going Leicester's way. Palace are defending well, let's not take that away from them. But the pressure has been intense. "20 minutes to go. Martin O'Neill wondering if all this pressure is going to count for anything. If 9 months of hard work is going to count for anything. Friedman was offside. Not 9 months, of course, in Martin O'Neill's case. He's only actually been the manager for the last 4 months, but the players have been striving since last August to get back into the Premiership. So have Palace's. Both teams came down, of course, last season along with Norwich and Ipswich. There's a good ball into the box for Veart. Veart's done well enough. Brown, it's a good ball, Endar. And finally Leicester get it away. Straight back in from Quinn, it came off Taylor and it's flying about all over the place. Quinn turns it back again, and there's a good ball on, but that's offside surely. It was a late flag, but it was the right decision, I'm sure, against Friedman.
Yes, I'm looking at the Palace defenders who've stood to the task manfully. I bet they're looking at their front players. Give us some respite, for God's sake. Somebody get hold of it and keep the ball up there.
But instead, they're under pressure again. Is it? Heskey. Now Lennon. Grayson. No problem this time for Martin. Heskey's header.
Right, I'm watching Tuttle, who also has had his fair share of injuries this season, and he's going from memory at the moment. He's got a very good memory by the look of it, but he's going from it. He's had a long hard slog today, as all the Palace defenders have. See, that's unnecessary. I mean, if it comes off, brilliant, but there's too many flicks and things that haven't come off today. They need something solid from the front players at the moment, Palace. They need somebody just to get hold of it and buy them some time.
Whitlow for Leicester. The fullbacks attacking as much as the forwards at the moment for the men in blue. Taylor.
He's happier out here, isn't he?
And that's a good-looking cross, but too close to the keeper in the end.
It certainly gives you the impression he can go past people on this side of the field.
Foul by Heskey.
Oh, he's unlucky there, I think, Heskey. I think he's shown a great willingness to get back and retrieve there, and I think he's been punished for it. I think he's outstrengthed the fullback there.
Endar for Palace. Well played, Grayson. Parker. Lennon. And now Grayson. Slides one into Claridge. Grayson again. That's a tricky one for a moment, I thought, for Martin, but it wasn't really what was needed. The attendance today, 73,573, and that means that Leicester have figured in the 3 best ever playoff final attendances here at Wembley in their matches against Swindon, Derby, and now Crystal Palace today. We have just a shade over a quarter of an hour to go at Wembley Stadium. Walsh for Leicester City, who trail 1-0. Taylor on to Lennon. It's done well, Lennon. Parker on the far post, gets the header in, but it was never going to beat Nigel Martin.
No, full marks for Edworthy there. He got back and made things difficult for Parker, because Parker's quite useful in the air in that sort of situation. Good deep cross here. Edworthy just does enough to make sure Gary can't get a clean header on it.
Watts again defends with such assurance. Is it? Walsh. Is continued his run down the left, and Walsh with a glorious ball sets him clear. That could be a penalty, it is! They're celebrating already, but there's a rather important kick to come yet. But a brilliant ball by the captain Walsh, and Muzzy is it, determined, was tripped by Edworthy. The referee had no hesitation.
Yeah, I'm very surprised that Edworthy made a challenge there. Tackling, chasing back like that. Is it still had people to go by?
Gary Parker, never afraid to take responsibility, will take the kick. And a level!
And I don't think anyone, Alan, can begrudge them that. They've worked, they've drove, they've fought, and they've got the reward for it. And it's a safe bet the calmest man on the field there would have been Gary Parker.
Absolutely. He was always first in the queue, I think, for Villa when the European penalties were taken.
Always will take responsibility, and no matter how his game is the sort of player that will never shirk anything.
Get the ball, says Martin O'Neill, get the ball. Professional as ever, while his players were celebrating, he wanted them to get the ball and get on with the game, because clearly now the impetus is very much with Leicester City. They deserve the equaliser. I think even the most biased Crystal Palace fan would have to agree with that one.
I don't think they would, Alan, but I know.
Can either side get the winner now in 90 minutes? Clearly, Leicester psychologically will have the upper hand. Walsh's glorious ball to Izzet led to the penalty. Here he is again.
That was a great ball in behind the right back area, but full marks to the lad on the left-hand side, is it? Some brave, positive running made it.
Lennon. To test the Palace's character now, having withstood withstood the storm for so long. Can they hold on in there? Taylor, just too far ahead of Claridge.
Somehow or other, Palace have got to try and raise themselves, particularly people like Edworthy, who's had a decent game, but has played most of the game defending, sitting back and defending, containing. Now somehow or other, he's got to try and push the game forward. You know, they've got conditioned to sitting in their own half of the field and just soaking up pressure. Now they've got to try and drive forward because they've got to try and win it themselves now.
Roberts. Good ball to Houghton. Pitcher couldn't quite get in there. Lennon has absolutely worked himself into the ground for Leicester today.
It's been a big area for the midfield, Leicester. I mean, Lennon's had an outstanding game. Parker, for me, has run the game. Taylor, particularly since he's come on the right-hand side of midfield, has had an excellent game, and I think they've actually outnumbered Palace in there. I think Palace have put a big onus on Ray Houghton and Pitcher to sort of play 2 against 3 in there, and at times they've been overrun.
While you're watching Mark McGee is the cry from the Leicester supporters. Mark McGee, one of 2 managers they lost in the space of 12 months. Brian Little before him.
It's funny, they were singing a song here last year, the Reading fans.
Yeah,
must be a Wembley song, though.
Now a problem here, but Whitlow dealt with it well. Pitcher getting it back in, and Poole takes command.
How much do they owe to Poole for that save straight after half-time?
Absolutely. In fact, the irony of this game has been that for all Leicester's possession, Crystal Palace have created the better chances. Parker, it's 1-1. We have now 10 minutes to go. Claridge, it's a great run. Almost released Heskey. Houghton. And the ball just keeps coming back to Leicester. Remember, if it stays at 1-1 on 90 minutes, we'll have half an hour's extra time. Claridge took a whack in the back then from Quinn. Leicester get a free kick. Lennon took it quickly, too quickly as it happened. Houghton. Edworthy, the man who gave away the penalty with a rather rash challenge.
Yeah, I fancied he got a little bit excited there. He's chasing back, trailing the attacking player. I just fancied that Issett had still got plenty to do. I think it was Roberts was coming out the middle to be the next challenge on him.
And here is Roberts. Issett comes to win it back and finds Parker. Nowhere to go at the moment. There's some weary legs out there on both sides.
There seems certainly more spring in the Leicester legs than it does in the Palace, and understandably so. They've come back from the dead now, and they really are the team controlling the game.
Heskey. That's a corner off Topple. Well, when they beat Derby County here a couple of years ago, it was a late goal by Steve Walsh that won them that match. Will history repeat itself? Tremendous support from this end of the stadium for Leicester. Tremendous header as well, but it was cleared even as Walsh had his arms up celebrating. Martin gets it away again brilliantly. Grayson, good play by Friedman though. Pitcher onto Houghton. It's back in the balance, this one. Roberts. Edworthy. And Heskey gets back to deny Roberts any room, but here's Endar. That's a useful ball, cleared by Whitlow though. Palace's first real spell of possession this for a long time. Brown. There's one for Houghton to chase in the box. Lennon got it away. He's been outstanding. Parker. No targets at the moment, but Heskey makes the run down the centre now, and brilliant work by Nigel Martin. He had to improvise then. Seven minutes to go. Claridge. Oh, well played, Claridge. He's done brilliantly, but couldn't produce the final ball. Houghton. Veert. And he's in there again, that little terrier Lennon. And then Walsh clashes with Veert, because it seemed from where I was that Veert might have just left his foot in a little bit there as Walsh tackled him. He did. Walsh was seconds away from getting himself in big trouble there. Veert shown the yellow card, and I wonder if he'll take any action against Walsh. No, I don't think he is. It's a naughty challenge by Veert. Just a little over 5 minutes on the clock. 1-1. The place in the Premiership still hangs in the balance. Houghton for Crystal Palace. Good ball to Friedman. Endar. Houghton again under pressure from Izzet. Martin O'Neill urges one final massive effort in normal time anyway from his players. 5 minutes is the message. Psychologically, certainly, Leicester have the advantage, as Claridge tries to give them a goal advantage. Martin wasn't going to be beaten that simply. Roberts almost walking forward now. They're so tired, these defenders. No wonder they've done a wonderful job at the back under a great deal of pressure, these Palace boys. 13 goal attempts by Leicester to 4 by Palace. I think that is an accurate reflection of the way this game has gone. But it's not over yet. Edworthy. He's done well. If ever a man wanted to do well, it's him as well, having conceded the penalty. Claridge, though, has it back for Leicester. 4 minutes remaining. Whitlow. There's one for Heskey to chase, and chase he will. And it was a determined chase that forced Roberts into the error and gives Leicester a corner. Well, these fans are trying to will the ball into the back of the net now at this Leicester City end, as the captain comes forward again. Walsh wins it, off the line! Off the line by Carl Veert. Parker. In it goes again, and the keeper with a very good catch. Well played, Nigel Martin.
It's almost inevitable, you think. I think even the players think that. The ball's there, nice height on it, that Walsh is going to get on the end of it. And I must admit, when he's lobbed it over the keeper, I thought that was going in. And well, that's what the lad's stationed there for, Veert.
Brown. Roberts, and no one really showing for him. Edworthy, straight to Whitlow though. Watts. Bit loose that one, gave Brown the opportunity to intercept, and now Endar. Difficult ball for Watts, but he's been hugely impressive and got it away. But here's Pitcher. Taylor with the interception. Lennon. Parker. And this is Heskey. Heskey is being pulled back there, and Tuttle will be in trouble, I think. He certainly conceded a free kick and probably will get a booking as well.
Oh, he'll definitely get a booking. I mean, I think it's just a question. I said earlier, I think that he's very, very tired now, and he's had to fight and battle and contest against Heskey. Although he's only 18, he's a big lad, and I think they just see he's out and out on his feet. I think Tuttle at the moment.
Hardly surprising, the hard work those defenders have contributed. Parker chips it up there. Nigel Martin with the safest and simplest catch you can imagine. We're into the final minute at Wembley in the Ensley League playoff final for the First Division, playing for a place in the Premiership next season. And the teams, Crystal Palace and Leicester, are level at 1-1. And that means that extra time is looming. Houghton. Heskey did well there. Parker did even better. Taylor. With a couple of minutes of stoppage time, I would think, as Taylor goes on. It's a great run by Taylor, but the final ball wasn't.
The run was positive. He got into that little bit of no man's land. He didn't know whether to stick or bust, shoot or stand one to the back post. Good driving run here, right to the heart of the defence. There he gets excited a little bit. I think he may try to have spotted Claridge in there.
90 minutes are complete. Extra time. Seconds away, perhaps. Depends on the referee. He's the only man who knows how much we've got to add. And of course, we'll have the whole of extra time and the penalties if it comes to that. Here's Claridge. Can he make it a dramatic late winner? He can't.
That's the sort of ball he's been wanting himself all match. That was a great ball in, really, but he should have been on the end of it.
And when Roberts looked up then, there was simply no one to hit. And that's been the problem for Palace.
It's been like a blue tide, hasn't it, second half after the first 5 minutes. Those couple of incidents when Poole made the saves, and then it's virtually been non-stop attack from Leicester.
Everyone perhaps now geared to extra time, but it takes just a couple of seconds to score a goal. Claridge. This is Lennon for Leicester. Whitlow hammers it forward. Claridge will chase here. And calm defending by young Quinn. That must have been a moment of anxiety for him. A minute and a half of added time, and that's it. In fact, the referee calls a halt. The 90 minutes has finished all square. Crystal Palace getting the early breakthrough with a goal by Andy Roberts, and then enduring something like, no exaggeration, 60-70 minutes of all-out pressure from Leicester City, who finally got their equaliser from the penalty spot, scored by Gary Parker. ...15 minutes, 2 periods of 15 minutes, remember, and it's all about nerves as much as anything now, I think, and it's all about psychology and what the two respective managers were able to do in that few minutes between the end of normal time and the start of extra time. Obviously, psychologically, Leicester, having had so much of the play and having come back from a goal down, must be in the driving seat, but who knows? Neither manager opted to use any further substitutes during the break, incidentally. A leg challenge there from Julian Watts, and I think that might earn him a caution.
I rather think Crystal Palace might have fancied the advantage there, you know. A little flick inside and putting it out very, very much into a favourable position. He's inside the fullback, running in on goal there.
Julian Watts, the first Leicester player to be cautioned after Tuttle, Veert and Hopkin had gone into his book from the Palace side. Palace have a free kick with the words of Dave Bassett ringing in their ears. He told them that they were lucky to have this period of extra time. Now go out and win it, was his instruction. Well, he was honest, and I think he was accurate.
I'm just a little bit surprised that Dave hasn't used his subs, you know. I can understand Martin O'Neill keeping his team intact because they're the team on the up, but there's a lot of tired, or appear to be tired players, both mentally and physically, in the Palace side.
Georgenda.
Certainly thought he'd got to try somehow or other to reinforce Pitcher and Houghton in midfield, either by bringing on new personnel or telling his flank defenders that they've got to push on and try and push the midfield or help the midfield a little bit more.
Houghton getting it forward to Roberts. Endar. Brown. Houghton just teases it on to Pitcher. It's a good move this by Crystal Palace. Danger threatens as Friedman's shot is blocked. Is it? Heskey brought down by Roberts. Free kick.
Been a handful, hasn't he, Heskey, since he's gone up the middle. He's shown great strength, great target play, and that's very, very clever free kick. Very sharp and incisive.
Parker inches it out to Taylor on the right. 3 men in the penalty area. For Leicester, that is. Parker chipping it into Claridge. Taylor. That's a good-looking ball. And it comes to Lennon. Shot well blocked. Parker again. Hustled out of it, but Whitlow comes to help him. He didn't realise he had it then. Parker.
He's played at Wembley a few times, Gary Parker, you know, and I bet he's not enjoyed himself ever as much as today. Virtually, him and Lennon, for me, have virtually run the game.
Whitlow swings one in. That should be the goalkeeper's ball. He didn't make the best job of it, though. Still, he got it away. That was the chief priority. Martin O'Neill delighted with his players' efforts in that 90 minutes. He told us that he just wanted more of the same, and they would have to win it. Claridge getting held, surely, by Tuttle.
Got to be patient there, Tuttle. That's what I talked about Claridge first half. He's an awkward customer. He gets under the defenders, he gets backs into them, and so forth. And that's when defenders have got to be patient, particularly Tuttle, who's already had a booking.
Leicester have the free kick. Parker looks good. Walsh couldn't reach it. Tuttle did really well. Taylor knocked away by Pitcher. And Brown just couldn't keep it in play. The pressure continues then. Claridge just trying to shake off his marker here and finds Parker. Heskey gets it back from Walsh, and Heskey drives one in along the ground.
The ironic thing is, you know, apart from the penalty, that's the first real shot I can remember that Martin's had to really do something on. Everything else has been very much bread and butter, hasn't it, Phil?
A couple of headers, and there was that goal line clearance, but yes, it wasn't him. Yeah. Watts comes to win it and find Izzet. Lennon. There's one for Whitlow to run on to. Lennon. This is Parker. Couldn't find Heskey. Quinn to Endar. And he's won his side a throw-in and given them a little bit of relief, which they need. Crystal Palace, who bobbed around between the divisions, 4 seasons at the top, then they were relegated, promoted, relegated again. Can they complete the sequence with another promotion? Or will it be Leicester who go back at the first time of asking? Leicester's 4th playoff this, remember? And they've lost 2 of them. Parker. Claridge trying to get in behind defender, but the goalkeeper Nigel Martin was like an extra defender. Grayson doing well. Now Watts. Walsh. Wicklow. Roberts has been one of the best players the Palace have had today, and he defended well then. Viet goes into Walsh again. Another thunderous collision between the two.
I think you'd have to say he's been the best player.
Yeah.
He's kept them in the game with his goal, and he's kept them in the game with his, if you like, stickability at the back.
Lennon searches out Heskey. No one really in the box at the moment, so he's got to hold up till support arrives. Parker's in the middle, couldn't pick him out. Lennon with the volley, good effort. Oh, Martin just about held on. Unlucky.
Didn't quite get hold of it right, Lennon, but neither did Martin, as it.
Huge kick from the Palace keeper. Watts was underneath it. Is it? Heskey runs into trouble. Veert's a big, strong customer, and he's certainly put himself about. And he's beaten Whitlow well here. And Endar came flying in on the far post when it had eluded Friedman and had a chance.
Good work from the Australian. Good deep cross. As Endar just can't get around the back of this. But he just pulled away a little bit earlier. Perhaps he'd have been coming at a better angle, but that would really put the cat amongst the pigeons there. Arms, yeah. About time we had this, I think. And that would be the ideal one. That would be 1-for-1.
Dougie Freedman goes off. Bruce Dyer comes on. He scored 14 goals for Palace this season, including 2, importantly, when they won 3-2 up at Leicester in October. And I understand he has a good scoring record against Leicester. Brown. Dyer's first opportunity. He slipped over. Walsh with the clearance, and it's a tremendous ball as well to Heskey. And still Heskey. That could easily have been a penalty again, but the referee, who was perfectly placed, I have to say, said no, play on. Be interesting to have another look at that.
Well, my first reaction was it was a penalty.
9-2.
Like you say, the referee shows him inside here. He drives. No, referee spot on. He's actually trod on Tuttle. Great decision. Mind you, he was nearer than us.
But yeah, you've got to praise the referee for that.
Yep.
Kind of thing that can easily fool people further away from the action than the official. Claridge to Lennon. Taylor. Still running. Where does he find it from? Run into trouble as it happens.
Yeah, he's got himself into a lot of promising positions there. Here's a goal scorer with a cup pedigree.
Yeah, Mark Robbins, who played here against Palace, of course, for Manchester United 6 years ago. And about to come on now for Scott Taylor, who's run himself into the ground. And it's no reflection on him, I'm sure, that he's the man being replaced. He's just got very little left, although that last run he managed to find something. Mark Robbins, £1 million signing from Norwich just over a year ago, will take his place.
I think what we'll see now, I think actually that's a positive step. I think that Leicester have gone for the game now. They're going to try and definitely win it and not bother with penalties if they can avoid it. Issett's gone across to the right-hand side where he started the game. Heskey's gone to where he started the game on the left-hand side. And Robbins has gone up alongside Claridge.
5 minutes of the first period of extra time remaining. Still no addition to the scoreline. Claridge did really well then. Parker to Lennon. Those two have played brilliantly in the middle of the field for Leicester. Whitlow. And the chance opens up for Whitlow, but again it was on that right foot. There's going to be another change made by Palace now. Simon Roger waiting to come on. And no one's quite sure who's coming off. This new style electronic numbering is all very well. That's the sun shining on it, then you can't read it. David Tuffle, the centre-back, is coming on to be replaced by Simon Roger, who in fact was pretty regular, played the last few games just before the playoff semi-finals, and was an ever-present in Palace's last promotion year.
Yeah, they're still keeping the same shape, though. Simon Roger's going to go to left wing-back, if you like. Kenny Brown comes across to the right-hand side, and Ed Worthy goes in and plays alongside the centre-halves. He makes the third central defender. That's actually excluding the kid. That's the back five.
Here's Robbins, his first shot.
And that's his game, by the way. Penalty box, hitting things early on the turn, little threaded ball through the middle, latches on, doesn't take time, gets his shots in early. But that's the back five that I saw play at Derby, with the exception of the kid, Quinn.
And Roger gets his first touch, and it's a good one as well. He was brought down when he did win the ball, but player's gone on. And the other substitute, Dyer, was getting hauled back there, I thought, by Grayson. Good play by Houghton. Dyer just wouldn't sit up for him to make the shot, and Palace having their best little spell for a long time here, and Roberts tries another one similar to the effort that brought him his goal.
I think Veert was a bit unhappy with that. Veert is staying out here on the right side, looking acres of space, saying, come on, give it me, I'm at the back of the defence here. As he shapes up to shoot here, Veert's on, you can't see it in picture, but Veert's just on the right-hand side. Still, if you don't buy a ticket, you don't win the raffle.
Not quite sure why, but Muzzy Izzet's name has been added to the roll of dishonour. Whistle's gone for a free kick, as Roger, who's only been on a couple of minutes, he could make an unfortunate entry into the record books here. He's only been on a couple of minutes and he might be going off. Edworthy gets it clear. Claridge. Still Claridge. Chips it up for Heskey, but that's Nigel Martin's ball. Palace have used all three of their substitutes, remember, so if Rodgers is struggling, he might have to just go on and be a nuisance, as they say. This is why he's injured. Naughty one from Izzet. Viet. And Brown switched over to the right. Dyer. Walsh claiming that should have been a Leicester throw, and everyone seems convinced he was right there. But
he was. He should have been a Leicester throw. It actually caught Dyer's legs as it went out of play.
Bruce Dyer tries to make a bit of room from the throw-in and gets it back to Houghton cleverly. Good ball as well, but Endar couldn't get any meat on the shot. Lennon's clearance, and this is easily Palace's best spell for about half an hour to an hour of the game. Houghton. Heskey was strong. Well, that's good skill and all. And off he goes. What a brilliant run by Heskey. And typically, Palace's man of the match, Roberts, denied him. It's just about the end of this first period now of extra time. Lennon got in the way of Edworthy, did well. And that's the end of the first half of extra time. A slightly different setting, a very different prize, but on Wednesday in Rome, the European Champions League final went to extra time, and that, in the end, had to be decided by penalties. I wonder if we're going to see a repeat here on ITV this afternoon in the Ensley First Division playoff final. To these players, the prize is just as big. Heskey. The whole season rests on what happens here in the next 15 minutes and maybe the penalties to follow. Simon Roger back on the field, but clearly he's not going to play any effective part. Don't think he'd be taking any penalties if they get one.
He looks as if he's struggling for his life at the moment, limping away very, very badly. That's a blow. You know, you throw somebody on, that just shows how the best laid plans can get thrown out of everything. He comes on, fresh legs for extra time. Within a minute, a rash challenge leaves him virtually, by the look of it, a passenger.
He must be cursing Dave Battles. It's the kind of thing that no one obviously can foresee. Dave Tuttle, who was tired but physically fit, is sitting on the bench next to his manager now, when he would dearly, dearly love him out there.
Now, he also had a responsibility on corners, Tuttle, to take Walsh. You just wonder if they get any set plays, who'll take Walsh now.
There's a good ball forward for Heskey, but Nigel Martin has not missed a thing really in his sweeper's role. Foul on Lennon by Endar, who's also in trouble now. George Endar, he's limping. Well, it would be an understatement to say there are some weary limbs out on that field. Izzet seems to keep running though. Good tackle on him. Heskey offside against Robbins. On he goes through the pain barrier. Well, justice doesn't always get meted out in the right directions in football, but I'm sure most neutral observers this afternoon will say if there is any justice, then Leicester deserve that place in the Premiership. Can Robbins give it to them here? It was a clever effort, but Nigel Martin did have the ball covered, I think.
That was excellent play between Parker and Robbins. Great little cross run here, and a beautiful ball played into the space for him just to run onto. Doesn't need a look. Hooks the keeper. I'm not as convinced as you are about Martin. I think if that had been closer on the target with a bit of loop on it, it'd have been scrambling. But a good link up between Parker and Robbins there.
Walsh's clearance to Claridge. Roger did well just to make any kind of clean contact then. Lennon. Walsh, who wants help from his goalkeeper here, who's dozing a little bit. Hardly surprising, he hasn't had much to do.
Just thinking that he hasn't been in action for ages, has he, the goalkeeper?
He might be soon. 5 penalties each if we can't find a winning goal in the next 12 minutes. Claridge goes in hard. I can't remember the First Division playoff final going to penalties before. Certainly it's happened in the lower divisions. I remember being here a few years ago when Crewe against York went to penalties, but I don't think it's happened in the First Division. Pitcher tries to get a bit of distance on the throw. And there's one for Dyer to chase. Watt's got there first, but it's dropped neatly to Endar. Lennon, how many times today has he won important little challenges like that? Robbins to Claridge. Did well, Claridge. Parker with a lovely ball. Grayson. And a strange sort of clearance by Roberts. It's a corner. There's a sense of anticipation as Steve Walsh begins his run forward for this Leicester City corner.
And as I say, he's going in against without his marker this time. Tuttle's been his detailed marker all match.
In goes Walsh with a tremendous header. Roberts got it clear. Parker taken off him by Houghton, who runs and runs and stops the corner. But he's lost out. Parker. Well, when all else fails, Nigel Martyn has been an absolute rock. And it was a good throw out as well. Endar using his pace. Walsh using his nous.
They badly need a moment of genius or inspiration from Endar. You can't really see the midfield players getting up in support now or scoring a goal or anything. It looks as if it's going to be a flash of inspiration if it's going to be Crystal Palace from Endar.
Veer finding picture. This is the time when weary limbs can be forced into mistakes. You've got to keep the concentration. You've got to summon up reserves of effort. This is the period when major matches like this are won and lost. Dyer setting it up for Roberts. Good little chip forward towards Endar. Walsh got it clear. The linesman is flagged, and I assume that's an offside. Yes, Leicester's free kick. It's got to be taken from the right place. Is Martin O'Neill about to become a Premiership manager for the first time in his short career?
I think if you ask the respective managers now, Martin O'Neill would take another half an hour. I think Dave would take penalties at this moment in time.
There's Dave Bassett about to get a team promoted for the 7th time in his career.
I think Martin O'Neill knows the longer it goes on and on and on, his team's more on the up, they're stronger, they've played better, and it would only be a matter of time before they won it.
But a cruel twist of fate could still turn this game either way yet. Leicester have it back with Muzzy Izzet. Oh, well played. Unlucky. One of the many heroes Leicester have had today.
Oh, he's been a competitive little so-and-so, hasn't he? He's really stuck at it.
He's got a chance of playing national football for Turkey as well. His father, a Turkish Cypriot, his mother's English. Lennon, very much a Northern Irishman, has been another hero.
He's filled in that hole in front of the back four. Made a lot of those, as you've commented many times. That's a version of the Australian rules there.
And a lovely, quickly taken free kick, and Parker spreads it out to Robbins. Whitlow. Claridge couldn't reach it. Izzet is behind it. Just chip one up. And tired clearance gets it away. Well, they wouldn't be this cruel to horses, would they? After 9 months of the hard slug of a season, and 90 minutes, half an hour's extra time, and still they're going for that one enticing final place in the Premiership next season. Izzet. Claridge. Well played, Claridge. That's a useful ball. Heskey coming in far post, and George Endar got there ahead of him. Corner. Leicester will not want the lottery of penalty kicks. No matter how well you've played in the match or extra time, anything can happen in that situation. They will want the winner, and they'll want it now. Walsh. Awkward one for him to head this time, and Pitch has turned it straight back. Walsh has gone down, I think, with a bit of cramp, as suddenly Palace break clear, and they've got extra men over here as well. Beard. Dyer, the man in possession. Lennon takes him on, still Dyer. It's gone well. And pulls it back to Houghton. Great effort. Now Pitcher. Dyer again. Palace believe they can win it still. Poole goes in, just got a fingertip to that one as Carl Beard came flying in. It's a corner. Well, this has been a tremendous advert for the Ensley First Division this game. It's been a real spectacle, an exciting match with a lot of good football played as well. Roberts. That's a goal kick.
Very neatly worked corner. Roberts, for once, loses his composure.
We've got under 5 minutes to go.
It's all Leicester, then all of a sudden there's a little flicker from the Palace, and like we've just seen in the last couple of minutes, where you think, I mean, you have to fancy Leicester in open play, but every so often Palace just do something that suggests they might be capable of nicking something.
Robbins tries to flick it on. Claridge couldn't get there. Roberts again with a brilliant bit of defending. The injured Rodgers just about gets it away. Pitcher. The sun is out for the first time today. Who will it shine on in the next few minutes? Robbins has the ball for Leicester. Beard did well to close him down so quickly then. Houghton. Dyer. Great run by Dyer. Lennon's there again, denying him space. And Dyer did really well just to hold it up. Houghton. Dangerous looking ball towards Beard. It's come off Whitlow. That's a good clearance by Whitlow. It's a brilliant ball as it happens. Claridge. Taken off him by the youngster. Need to be proud of his performance today, Robert Quinn. Another change in the offing here. There can only be one, of course, because Palace have used their substitutes. And it's the captain, Steve Walsh, who is replaced by Colin Hill, and that can only be, of course, because Steve Walsh just has nothing left to offer, I assume, because they'd normally have to drag him off. The Northern Ireland international Hill takes his place. Maybe Hill's a better penalty taker. That could be a factor. It's got to be the players on the field at the end who take the penalties, remember. Houghton for Crystal Palace. 2 minutes on the watch before the penalty shootout to decide a place in the Premiership. Dyer. Going nowhere really, and Leicester have the throw. Difficult to know when we haven't had a winner yet, Ron, but man of the match contenders.
From Palace, I think you've got to go with Roberts. You've got to say Roberts has been their player. He's defended well. I mean, Martin's done okay, but he hasn't really had to make too many spectacular saves. Kept tidy. But for me, on the Palace side, Roberts has defended well and scored the goal that's kept them in there. But I think the key area definitely has been the Leicester midfield. And you can toss up. It's a toss-up between Neil Lennon, who I think's had an exceptional game, kept the continuity going, won back tackles. But I also think the lad has taken the responsibility and scored the goal, kept the game flowing with some very good passes. And I'd give it Gary Parker today, but by a hair's breadth from Lennon. Could be a toss-up between either. I think the goals actually swayed me.
Houghton getting it forward. The ball breaks to Beard. Beard's shot is blocked by Hill. That's his first contribution, and an important one. Houghton. Roberts. Good tackle by Whitlow. Here's Parker, the man of the match. Heskey. And Heskey brought down. That will be a booking for Brown. Now, I'm not sure what's happening here, because Zelko Kalatz The substitute goalkeeper is coming on to take Kevin Poole's place, and obviously some conversations has gone on the bench there, I would think, and maybe Callaghan says, look, I am the king when it comes to penalty shootouts, you get me on there and I'll win you this match. It's the only thing I can imagine that's happened.
Well, he's a big lad, and whether they think he fills the goals, you know, when it looks a bit more intimidating when penalties are being taken. I'm surprised at, because Poole's always given me the impression that he's an excellent reaction keeper.
Well,
but
that could be the winner from Claridge. It is! Stevie Claridge has given Leicester a place in the Premiership. And Martin O'Neill's masterstroke, in the most unexpected way, has paid off. And the man he signed for £1 million has scored a goal that's worth a lot more than that. Stevie Claridge hits the back of the net, and that means that Leicester are back in the Premiership.
that is almost a replica of the Cantona goal, isn't it, in the cup final, where he's composed himself and hit it. Great strike, great timing, and as you so rightly said, what a great substitution. I can't help thinking that the delay when the substitute was made, because we were confused whether the referee had blown for time.
He has
there
now.
It is now.
It's all over, and Leicester City take their place in the Premiership, and there is not a shadow of a doubt that they deserve it. It was a cruel, cruel way for Nigel Martyn and Crystal Palace to lose out in the end, when they must have felt they were going to at least have an opportunity from the penalty spot. But in terms of the 90 minutes and the half an hour of extra time, justice for once in this crazy game has been done. Leicester City go back to where they belong. And Stevie Claridge, whose doctor told him weeks ago, stop playing, you're doing yourself no good, the thyroid problem is going to get worse before it gets better. He said, no, I'm carrying on. And he has carried on and scored the winning goal at Wembley. John Robertson, former Nottingham Forest teammate of Martin O'Neill, now part of his backroom staff. Gary Parker, whose penalty got them back into the game. Well, frankly, they were never out of this game, even at one down. And Martin O'Neill, who was being booed and derided by some Leicester City fans just a few weeks ago, they staged a demonstration after a home defeat by Sheffield United, is now their hero. What a wonderful performance from a team who were clinging on to the edge of the promotion playoffs for weeks and weeks. The pressure was on them in the final 10 games of the season, and they were not found wanting. They were seconds away from the absolute Russian roulette way of deciding a football match from the penalty spot, but Claridge's goal made that unnecessary. Stevie Walsh, the captain, is down there now with Phil.
Steve Walsh, have you ever been involved in a match like it?
No, I can't believe it. That is frightening, absolutely frightening. You know, I thought we deserved the win. I thought we played a better football, and in the end, you know, we grinded it out again. One more game we needed, and we've done it. I can't believe it.
Everybody was preparing for penalties, and then Stevie Claridge came up with that magnificent shot.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all decided that it looked like penalties, but you never know with our team what we're going to do. Last-minute goal, unbelievable. What can you say? We've done it again.
But over the 120 minutes, as you say, you fully deserved it.
I think so, yeah. I really felt as though we pressured and pressured. We didn't quite get the rub of the green, and in the end, it showed. We got it.
Even when you were 1-0 down, everything seemed to be going for you, apart from getting the goal that eventually came, and then it swayed your way.
Yeah, that's right.
Here's Steve Claridge. Let's bring Steve in. Stevie, what a way to end a season.
Oh, it's just a perfect end. I thought, like, Eddie Johns thought, oh, it'd be nice to get a goal. They just forgot about it. The ball just sat up and I've shinned it in, so it's brilliant.
You shinned it in?
Well, I think so. I don't know what it. I can't feel my legs are just cramping and everything, but it's just great feeling. I can't believe it. Best feeling in the world.
You thoroughly deserved it over the 120 minutes, though, yeah?
Yeah, we were a better side, definitely the better side. Went one down, had to get a result out of it, and that's been our season, back end of our season. It's what we've done all through. We've been up against it and managed to pull ourselves out of it.
So Steve Walsh takes the Leicester players up those famous Wembley steps for the trophy that goes with the prize that really matters. Sporting applause from the Crystal Palace players and coaching staff. But Wembley is about winners, and Leicester City are deserved winners today. What a dramatic end to a wonderful match, and Steve Walsh will not be allowed to go without a handshake every step of the way. And Captain Fantastic, as they call him at Filbert Street, leads his players to receive the trophy, but more importantly than that, to receive a place back amongst the big boys. Michael Alcock, the managing director of Ensley Insurance, hands over the trophy, and listen to this noise. That could be the winner from Claridge. It is!